The forum expressed its appreciation for innovation, collaboration, and partnership from academia and committed to promote technology transfer between academia and the industry. With the guest of honor, this event were brought together over 500 delegates, including ministers, senior government officials, industry, potential investors, and representatives from financial institutions. These delegates engaged in discussions concerning the success and challenge facing trade and investment within East Africa and the wider continental free trade area. The primary objective was to chart a path for the future, identify the necessary policy reforms, leverage competitiveness for increased intra-Africa trade and investment. The East African Business and Investment Summit and Expo 2023 was graced by the presence of Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwara Kadaga, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs of the Republic of Uganda, who officially opened the Business and Investment Summit. The chairperson of the EAC Council of Ministers and the Minister for East African Affairs, Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Ambassador Ezekiel Niligira, the first Deputy Prime Minister, officially launched the EAC-EABC Technical Working Group that will be responsible for monitoring and implementation of the summit resolution. The key resolution that emerged. One is on trade and investment climate, making East Africa a leading trade and investment destination, developing strategies and programs to foster and increase intra-EAC trade to the tune of 40% within 5 years. That's a very strong commitment. Currently, our intra-regional trade stands at 24%. We've committed that within a period of 5 years, that can be doubled. Prioritize harmonization of trade and investment regulations and policy within EAC to facilitate promotion of EAC as a single investment destination. Enhance coordination and cooperation among regulatory agencies for consistent implementation of trade and investment regulation. Prioritize funding and development of cross-border infrastructure projects. The guest of honor received excellent presentation by both Afrexim Bank and African Development Bank, where the commitment to regional connectivity and reduced trade-related costs has been highlighted. Strengthen cooperation between revenue customs authorities to combat illicit trade and corruption while promoting intra-regional trade and investment. We took note that currently the region is losing around 6 billion United States dollars through illicit trade. So we need to ensure that we combat illicit trade. Accelerate public-private partnership at national, regional level to encourage investments. Establish a robust legal framework and investor protection to create a conducive business environment. Foster exchange of information, best practice, research, data across the region. That was on the aspect number one. Aspect number two, which resonates very well with the theme, accelerating CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area. It was recommended that we need to develop regional harmonized position on pending issues under the CFTA negotiation. Nominate panelists from the EAC partner states to the CFTA dispute settlement body. Expedite the development of the EAC tariff offer for category B and C products by October 2023. Enhance public-private collaboration and dialogue for the full implementation of the CFTA and develop comprehensive strategy to maximize the benefit that accrue from the CFTA. Provide capacity building to SMEs, especially youth, the innovators we saw this morning, for their participation in the CFTA and promote intra-industry trade. The third is sustainable industrialization of the value chain in Africa. It was noted that our industrial development is at 10%, and our target is around 25%. So we need to double our efforts in terms of boosting industrialization, especially adding value in our local products. Promote buy East Africa, build East Africa, and shy away from buy Uganda, build Uganda, but we need to ensure that we manufacture for the region, not for national, not to our national governments. Promote investment in manufacturing and agriculture, develop programs for skills development and technology transfer. The fourth component is tax regime harmonization, engage in dialogue with private sector in the harmonization of domestic tax, including excise duties, VAT, income, and tax incentive, lowering the cost of implementing digital tax stamp across the EAC region. It was also noted that we need to make it simple, predictable in terms of our tax environment. Need to review the EAC agreement for avoidance of double taxation, prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to income tax, to allow for the implementation by ratified parties through variable geometry principle. Fast track elimination of discriminatory taxes and other charges of equivalent to ensure that the region is competitive. The fifth resolution is on digital economy and local business opportunities under EAC and CFTA through promotion of digital skills and digital trade. Foster collaboration with the education institution to address the current mismatch between our academia and industry. It was recommended that academic institutions need to work with the private sector, to work together with the ABC and other private sector organizations. We need to encourage collaborative effort between public and private sector to harness the full potential of the digital economy. Under trading services, we need to address the high cost of air travel through implementation of open sky in the EAC, reduce the cabotage. These are fees and charges we impose on our airline, and shy away from saying Air Uganda, Air Rwanda, but move quickly in terms of promoting our regional airline. SMEs and women and youth, it was highlighted that it is very important. We need to develop policies and programs to support SMEs. Climate change and agriculture, enhance water harvesting, recycling training, promote tree planting for consumption, invest in soil health training. Finally, the summit extended its appreciation to private sector foundation of Uganda.
I want to thank the East Africa Business Council for bringing together the people who create employment, who pay the taxes, who support the common market of the East African community. The theme today is private sector-driven regional integration for increased inter-African trade and investment. This underscores the vital role of the private sector in driving economic growth and fostering deeper regional ties. Success of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that all our states ratified and commenced trading through lies on active participation and collaboration from both the public and private sectors. By creating an enabling business environment, we pave that for increased trade, investment, and prosperity across our borders. Therefore, this summit, the second summit, is a premier EAC economic forum where East Africa will chart a common agenda to take trade to higher levels. However, I heard Mr. Kalisa celebrate the 24% intra-regional trade. This is not a good story at all, especially when we know that these same countries trade at 80% level with European Union and others who are far away. But we who are here, we don't have trade with one another. I'm happy to see my friend, the PS for the Kenya Ministry of East Africa. We are constantly battling over milk. We are constantly battling over milk and other products. And I find it difficult to understand why you say that I can export milk to you for 3 months. Then when you think that you have a lot of milk, you say, stop now. You just you switch on an industry and switch it off. You know, I keep telling them that the value chain is disrupted. The farmers, the packaging industry, the retailers. All these are affected by these abrupt disruptions. So I want to appeal to our colleagues to really comply with the agreements made in the common market. I don't know whether these are here. Are there from South Sudan here? Are they here? South Sudan. I have an issue with you and your government. Because for the last almost 5 months, they have impounded our maize. 5 months. First in the forest, then to go to the border, in a customs warehouse. They closed our customs warehouse and went with the keys to Juba. Can you imagine the impunity? The Sudanese locking the store on the Uganda side and going out with the keys. And this is integration. And I don't know why they have not completed their integration into the customs union. That is still outstanding on the side of South Sudan. So if we are talking about integration, it has to be properly focused and committed to what we are doing. I don't want to continue to talk about COVID-19. It has gone. The war in Ukraine, yes. I think we need just focus on the future. I'm glad to hear that the East African partner states have experienced positive growth from 1.5% to 11% the past 2 years. So let us improve on that. We are here to discuss and emphasize the importance of public-private dialogue in shaping a conducive business environment that ultimately leads to prosperity to our region. The Business Council and the Secretariat working together with the esteemed partners such as the African Bank, who we have had here, GIZ, who support us, the regional public sector companies that have supported the organization of business, this summit, highlights the significance of uniting our efforts to the greater good of East Africa. This private-public dialogue is a peaceful mechanism to address challenges, identify opportunities, and co-create policies that will benefit all stakeholders. So this platform is invaluable for the stakeholders from the government and private sector to converge and discuss ways to enhance our economic landscape. I want to reaffirm our government's commitment to promoting private-public dialogue as a key driver of economic growth. We firmly believe that the partnerships combined with sound policies and effective regulations will create a conducive and competitive business environment. We have heard a lot about the African Continental Free Trade Area. But why is it that only 44 of the countries have ratified? What are the others doing? Are they really committed? Why is it that there's very little trade under the African Continental Free Trade Areas? Why are negotiations not complete? Where is the commitment? I think we have a duty to the people of this region to ensure that we fulfill the obligations under the African Continental Free Trade Area so that our people can benefit from that framework.
The summit has offered a very good opportunity for all of us to appreciate that we have a wonderful East African region. In our community, we have men and the women who are able, who are capable, who are successful, and who have truly a business mind. We have learned that we should strive to make our East African community a leading and investment destination. This is, by the way, possible taking into account the varied opportunities the community presents. In this summit, participants were sensitized on how to take advantage of the opportunities offered by the African Continental Free Trade Area. We were able to appreciate the need to go digital in our businesses and East African economy. We appreciated the need to empower women and youth in business as well as developing small and medium enterprises, which are the backbone of every nation's economy. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, based on all these subjects that we covered, my conclusion will focus on the following advice. Let all of us walk the talk. I repeat, let all of us walk the talk. We need to walk the talk because all of us have a role to play to make our dreams and our plans become a reality. Governments are required to walk the talk in putting up a legal infrastructure that could facilitate implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We need to walk the talk because there is need for government to facilitate in having available financing at a reasonable cost, reasonable rate of interest, and with minimum procedures to get that financing. Businessmen and women make sure that our community is not a warehouse of other regional economic zones. You need to put up industries. Encourage your business partners to install industries in our region and not always bringing finished goods. We have truly to promote industrialization in EAC so that we get what to export overseas and inside our region. Much has been said. Mine is to conclude by congratulating each and every participant. I commend the organizers and the sponsors of this summit. Great appreciation goes to the government and the people of Uganda to have made this event to happen in a peaceful and secure environment. Remember always, let all of us walk the talk. I thank you all. God bless you.